Central Coast, thank you for watching KION 546.
A surge in RSV cases in kids across the U.S. What could be driving the surge as we check in on hospitals here on the Central Coast? Plus, a prescribed burn east of Salinas drawing some air quality concerns in the valley. Chief Meteorologist Dan Cianca is tracking those current conditions. And the House January 6 committee subpoenas former President Donald Trump, what they're demanding as a federal judge sentenced Steve Bannon to prison. You're watching KION News Channel 46.
Covering the Central Coast, this is KION News Channel 46 at 6 o'clock.
Good evening and thanks for joining us at 6. Tonight, pediatric beds are filling up across the country and healthcare facilities are warning parents about a surge in respiratory illnesses among children. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is pushing ICU capacity in some hospitals. Data shows hospital beds are filling up more now compared to over the past 2 years during the pandemic. Here on the Central Coast, doctors say with kids back in school and restrictions being lifted, cases are going up.
We have gradually seen an increase in the number of patients coming to the emergency department for RSV symptoms, and then subsequently testing positive for RSV. I would say in the last month, we've been seeing 1 to 2 patients every other day. And then I noticed this week in particular, we've been seeing 1 to 2 patients every day.
Dominican Hospital says it saw multiple children check in with RSV symptoms yesterday, but one of them ended up testing positive for COVID and needed to be hospitalized. Salinas Valley Memorial Hospital says they've also seen an uptick in RSV cases. And today's skies are less hazy and smoky compared to Thursday. CAL FIRE says yesterday's prescribed burn took longer than anticipated. And with all those acres that were burned, air quality was raised as a concern. KION's Carl Cook looks into whether the prescribed burn impacted our air.
Over the last 2 days, CAL FIRE burned about 2,000 acres, but the prescribed burn went out a little farther than the agency expected. An extra 60 acres jumped out of their control line, and the weather did not help.
Last night when the humidity came in and the burning slowed down, the activity on the slopover and the 1,000 acres came to a standstill.
Now CAL FIRE was able to extinguish the fire and are currently cleaning up any residuals within the area. Of course, a concern for locals here because of the burn was this air quality. However, locals should not hold their breath.
Most of the health-based standards are for 24 hours of exposure, so we didn't see 24 hours of exposure at maintained levels of high concentrations of wood smoke.
CAL FIRE and MBRD work with each other before doing these burns. They want to make sure everyone is on the same page.
When we get ready to plan these things, we're having constant conversations with them, with NOAA, with the Weather Service. There's a lot of folks that have a hand in this to make sure that what we do is meets the need, meets the mission, and make sure that we're keeping the public safe as we can.
It's sort of a yin and yang thing. The fire department is working on fire safety issues, and we're in there consulting on health impacts associated with air quality and wildfire smoke exposure.
Reporting from Monterey County, this is Carl Cook, KION News, Channel 46.
Part of the goal for prescribed burns is to restore habitats and reduce future fire incidents. Let's check in now with our Chief Meteorologist, Dan Cianca, who has an update on those air quality conditions. Dan, how are we looking for today?
Well, we continue to improve is the good news, Anna, across the region. Although it was a little nasty in some areas this morning. Nasty, obviously not the technical term, but we did see quite a few spots from the Salinas Valley into the Salinas area and even into Prunedale that were in unhealthy for sensitive groups, and even briefly moved into the unhealthy version. Air quality index of 100 and above would be unhealthy for sensitive groups. 150 would be unhealthy. We saw a few spots in the low 150s earlier this morning and even into the late this afternoon in Soledad and also into Bradley. But as of this hour, most sites are less than 100 as far as the index concerned. So across the Monterey Bay region, we're looking at moderate air quality. A few spots are showing good as well, but by and large, most of us are still moderate, which means there still is some low-level particulate in the atmosphere. Most of that is due to the prescribed burn, as what happened yesterday yesterday as the marine layer got deep enough that the fire was occurring inside that marine layer, inside that stable layer. So it was trapped in the inversion and then moved out toward the rest of the bay this morning with the drainage winds. And then with the sea breeze kicking in this afternoon, started bringing some cleaner air in from the ocean and started to clear us out. And that's why even down into Bradley, when you have the sea breeze kicked in, southern Monterey County, you saw some cleaner air eventually make it to you. That's why you were one of the last spots to see that cleaner air. Let's talk about those winds right now. They're onshore still, and tonight we'll still probably have a little bit of smoke out there because the drainage winds will kick back in, and that means the winds will direct right back toward the bay. And there's still a little bit of smoke in the air, so I expect that moderate air quality to continue until late tonight. But the winds are dying down this evening. However, we've got some wind in the forecast over the next couple of days, and the air quality might be better by then, but we're still going to be dealing with some wind and some big temperature swings for some areas. We'll talk about that in the full forecast coming up.
All right, thanks so much for that, Dan. Well, new tonight, President Biden's student debt relief program currently on pause. An appeals court put a temporary administrative hold on the program. It bars the administration from canceling loans, and before it resumes, the appeals court will consider a challenge to the program. Turning now to our coronavirus coverage. Bivalent boosters are now available for kids 5 and up in Santa Cruz County. Those 5 and up can get the new Pfizer booster, the Moderna booster for those 6 and up. Both vaccines are supposed to protect against the original strain of COVID-19 and the Omicron BA4 and BA5 variants. Santa Cruz County's deputy health officer released a statement saying in part, quote, "We are anticipating another winter surge. The approval of the updated COVID booster for those as young as 5 is a critical tool in protecting some of the youngest members of our community." Now, the county wants to remind people there are walk-in clinics available. To find those, you can check the county website. And hundreds of Northern California's mental health workers are headed back to work. About 2,000 therapists and other mental health professionals with Kaiser voted to end their 10-week strike. The union worked out a deal with Kaiser. It gives workers relatively modest wage increases along with changes in working conditions. Therapists now have more time to conduct an initial assessment of children. The union says Kaiser is also committed to increasing staffing. And the city of Greenfield is trying to help get people off the streets, but there are some problems like location and limited resources. And it can be tough for the homeless in South Monterey County to access resources that are available, and because most of them are here in Salinas. One council member tells us that some families can't afford to travel to those shelters.
County has always been like that part of the county that always gets like the last of the services. I know we've been trying to improve that day by day, and it's always up to the representation of our leadership.
In Monterey County, thousands are reported to be homeless, but a new study shows that number has dropped 15% since the pandemic. To watch the full report, you can do so on our sister station, Telemundo 23 at 6 and 11 p.m. Your vote, your future. The last day to register for the November 8th midterm election is coming up. To make sure your ballot will be counted, you need to be registered to vote by 11:59 on Monday. If you're in Monterey County and want to register in person, you have to do so by 5 p.m. at the Monterey County Elections Office. And we continue to break down some of those local measures that you should be keeping an eye out. Today, we're covering Measure K in Santa Cruz County. The $249 million bond measure would generate about $12 million annually for the Santa Cruz City High School District. Over the next 30 years, the Chamber voted to support Measure K. Now to the latest on the investigation into the January 6th attack. The House committee investigating subpoenaed former President Donald Trump. And let's take a live look now from Washington, D.C., where it's been very busy there for the last couple weeks. And this move comes the same day as a federal judge in Washington, D.C. sentenced former Trump aide Steve Bannon to prison. Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
On this vote, there are 9 ayes and 0 noes.
A week after unanimously voting to subpoena former President Donald Trump, the January 6th committee has followed through. In a legal document sent to Trump's lawyers Friday, the panel wrote that it had assembled overwhelming evidence that he personally orchestrated and oversaw a multi-part effort to overturn the 2020 presidential election and to obstruct the peaceful transition of power.
We must seek the testimony under oath.
The committee demanded that the former president testify under oath by November 14th. They also requested that he provide documents including personal communication he had with members of Congress and extremist groups. The subpoena comes the same day a judge sentenced Steve Bannon to 4 months in prison for defying a subpoena from the committee. Outside the courthouse, the former Trump aide remained defiant and looked ahead to the midterms.
On November 8th, there's going to have judgment on the illegitimate Biden regime and quite frankly, that Nancy Pelosi and the entire committee.
The judge held off on imposing the sentence while Bannon appeals. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Bannon is the first person with close ties to former President Trump to be sentenced to prison in the fallout from the Capitol attack. Trump's former trade advisor, Peter Navarro, is expected to go on trial next month. And still ahead, a San Jose State football player is killed in a high school bus crash. We hear from the university, and we're learning more about the incident. And taking a live look outside where we are tracking the weather conditions where you live. Don't go away. Our chief meteorologist, Dan Cianca, will have your full forecast when we come back. You're watching KION News Channel 46.
Get the app, get the alert. Know about severe weather in your area with the KION Weather Authority app.
Hi, I'm JJ Jeffries from Gold Star Buick GMC. We're right on the corner and right on the price. Wow, check it out. A 2022 GMC Sierra for 0% financing. That's right, you heard me right, 0%. Are you looking for a good deal? Inventories are short? Not here at Gold Star Buick GMC. Come on down, take a test drive right here, right now at Gold Star Buick GMC. We're right on the corner and right on the price. And oh yeah, we are professional grade.
Let's commit to be financially fit with the help of your personal financial coach at Central Coast Federal Credit Union. We offer many options to help you achieve your goals and even put money back in your wallet. Consolidate debt, make some home improvements, or plan your dream getaway. Apply now for a home equity line of credit with a great low rate. Best of all, with Central Coast Federal Credit Union, pay no closing costs. It's fast and easy, and your financial coach will build a program to fit your needs.
The LA Times reports Malia Cohen didn't pay her business taxes, her license revoked, defaulted on her mortgage, and walked away. Cohen can't handle her own finances. We can't trust her with ours.
I'm Lon Hee Chen. I served under Presidents Barack Obama and George Bush. I'll be an independent controller, endorsed by over 20 newspapers across California. Today, Sacramento's go along, get along attitude wastes billions of your tax dollars. It's why I'll be a watchdog for your money, not a lapdog for the insiders.
CBS Friday is a night of big action.
Without further ado,
I'm finding something to live for.
Show me your hands.
it is going to be a lot of fun.
People are in danger, man.
He loves you. It's all new tonight at 8/7 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Well, here's how things looked in Santa Cruz today. It looked like a very good day. Some people out on the beach. But Dan, I think we were talking about it earlier. It was a little bit chilly out on the coast, but hey, you know what? I don't disagree. Any day's a good day to go to the beach.
You know what? I mean, it's like such a contrast to midweek when we were just scorching and sweating out there. I mean, Corralitos on Wednesday was 99 degrees. That's just north of Watsonville. It was 101 in Death Valley, which was the hot spot of the country. So Corralitos was almost, I mean, it was basically Death Valley. And, yeah, you know, it was wonderful if you're into that
I mean, if you want to cool off, go to the coast, but I'm not really a hot
Today,
type person.
Corralitos is basically Seattle, okay, just minus the rain. Do we have weather graphics? I get this noise in my ear saying, there we go. 63 currently in Santa Cruz, Surf City, Santa Carla if you're into horror movies. 56 in Watsonville. I was in Watsonville Wednesday as well. It was hot there. Went and got some apple slushies and some pies. We went and got some of that the sparkling apple juice. You know what I'm talking about. Did the little tasting. My parents were in town. Oh man, that was a good time. We really enjoyed that, and it was nice and refreshing considering how hot it was out there on Wednesday. But things have cooled off significantly by the end of the week, and we have more cooling on the way. We're still sprinkling in some 70s and 80s in southern Monterey County. Those are going to be gone for the most part tomorrow, and especially for the rest of the week. So hopefully you enjoyed the warmth inland and on the coast while it lasted, because big changes are coming. It's not going to be super cold on the coast in the coming days, but we do have some cooling to talk about. Here's a live look from Domenico's on the wharf. We are seeing mostly cloudy skies out there. The marine layer right now is slowly deepening and will help support those low clouds late this evening. So, might as well grab a cup of hot chocolate to enjoy. Temperatures are going to stay in the 50s late tonight, but it's really just in advance of a weather system on the way through the area. So the jet stream still off to our north. We have a cutoff area of low pressure to the south, high pressure off to the west, but we're seeing some dipping in the jet stream right now. This is a trough that's developing. There's a weak, dry cold front associated with it that's going to roll through early in the day tomorrow. And ahead of it, as winds are strengthened on shore, we may see some drizzle overnight tonight and tomorrow morning, but that's all the moisture we're going to get out of it. Most of the precipitation associated with this system will be across the Great Basin and up into the northern Rockies. Now here on the west coast, we'll see an influence of all this cold, dry air moving in from the north. I know it shows some precipitation, but this is really a dry air mass, especially comparatively. So that is going to set the stage for some wind over the next couple of days, especially with how deep this trough is. And you see how tight these lines are packed together here. This is a much stronger pressure gradient, which ends up giving us some gusty winds. So the next couple of days will be gusty, especially on the exposed coast, where we can see wind gusts 30, maybe even 40 miles per hour. Now, this is going to be the first of a series of very similar weather systems. So we'll get one later on the week, another cold, drier system from the north that will probably see those winds pick back up. In the meantime, we'll see some temperature fluctuations going from the coastal and inland areas, which will be a lot closer together, unlike our summer months when our coastal areas are cool and inland areas are hot. We're all going to be together in one big happy temperature family for the rest of the week, which will be seeing some cooler days, then some briefly warmer days. And certainly one thing you'll be noticing is some much colder nights. But the winds again picking up for the next couple of days. The National Weather Service has preemptively issued a gale warning from 3 a.m. tomorrow morning through 9 a.m. on Sunday for the near coastal waters from Pigeon Point down to Point Piedras Blancas. That does disclude Monterey Bay, but conditions will be hazardous for mariners for the next couple of days. Now, I mentioned clouds thickening tonight ahead of that weather system. We could squeeze a little bit of drizzle out of those clouds as we head toward tomorrow morning. So watch out. There could be a few damp spots on the roadways on your morning commute, but generally not looking at anything too bad out there. And then quickly that dry air will follow in tomorrow afternoon. We'll see clearing from north to south across the region. In fact, by noon, we're looking mostly sunny, and by later in the day, skies mostly clear. So again, this is going to be a short-lived, brief little moist portion of the front coming through overnight where we can get some drizzle. After that, it's going to be dry and gusty for the rest of the day tomorrow. Let's look at some temperatures, though. Again, much cooler, especially in the mountains and inland. We'll definitely notice on the coast, temperatures may be similar to what we saw today. We'll be in the upper 60s in the Santa Cruz Mountain Valleys, low 60s in the higher terrain tomorrow. We were at the low 80s up at the summit of Highway 17 today, so you're dropping almost 20 degrees tomorrow. On the east shore of the bay, seeing highs in the upper 60s in the north, down to the low 60s in the south. Watsonville may be one of our warmer spots in the north tomorrow with a downsloping wind getting you to 70. Mid 60s in Salinas and only upper 60s in our northern inland valleys. Over to the peninsula, highs with winds coming in out of the north out of the water, staying in the low 60s tomorrow. And down south, just last resistance of 70s in our southern valleys. Otherwise, 60 for most of southern Monterey and San Benito counties. So over the next 7 days, temperatures, again, we're going to go up and down. So we'll cool down tomorrow, then head back up Monday to Tuesday. Another system slices through on Wednesday, bringing more dry, gusty conditions. Will cool us back down to the mid-60s. Look at those coastal lows Monday morning in the low 40s on average. You're going to feel that when you go out to start your car. Inland areas, again, gusty this weekend. Look at your lows Monday morning. We could even see some frost in some higher inland valleys on Monday morning. And then after that, you'll see some warming, at least during the afternoons, but another shot of cooler air coming in later on in the week. Anna?
All right, thanks so much for that, Dan. Turning now to sports, our sports director, Maxwell Glenn, is joining us. Unfortunately, though, Max, you're starting things off with some sad news coming out of San Jose.
That's right, Anna. We have some sad news, like you said. The San Jose State community mourning the loss of one of their own freshman football players, Camden McWright. He passed away this morning. The 18-year-old was riding an electric scooter near the university around 6 in the morning when he was hit by a school bus. Police say McWright rented the scooter and was on his way to work out. There were students and a driver on the bus, but none of them were hurt. McWright would have turned 19 in December. He's originally from Sylmar and played for St. Genevieve High in Panorama. San Jose State's football coach released a statement this morning. He says in part, quote, "We lost an amazing young man this morning. Camden had a bright future ahead of him, and everyone in this community that had the opportunity to spend time with him knew that. We are still trying to deal with the news of this tragedy and appreciate everyone's support during these difficult times. They have since postponed Saturday's game against New Mexico State. Truly a devastating day in the San Jose State community. And after the break, we'll be back with the rest of your sports news, including where a Giants legend will be suiting up next year. More details in 2 minutes.
Get the app, get the alert. Know about severe weather in your area with the KION Weather Authority app.
Associated Services, you're always comfortable with us.
Regardless of the weather outside, Associated Services will keep your home comfortable year-round. Plus, we maintain all makes and models of new heating or air conditioning units with the best quality service. With over 37 years experience.
Beyond compare. Associated Services, you're always comfortable with us.
Come get your next car, truck, or SUV at My Nissan in the Salinas Auto Mall.
Come to My Nissan today and test drive your new Nissan.
The sooner you order your new Nissan, the sooner you'll have it.
And right now, you can get 1.9% APR on a new Nissan Altima or on a new Armada for 36 months.
And remember, at My Nissan, low prices every day.
Get your next car, truck, or SUV today.
My Nissan in the Salinas Auto Mall.
My name is Candy Ambrose, and I teach at AVA, Alisal Virtual Academy. This program has been such an amazing thing for our students and our teachers. Experiential learning is learning by doing. And at AVA, that is one of our goals, that we give materials to the students, and the students are hands-on in everything that we can. This program, I'm so excited about it. We use technology. As you can see, we have something called an e-glass, which is a whiteboard that the kids can see, they can interact with. So I would love to invite you, anyone who's interested, to come on out here to AVA and check out what we're doing. I think it's an amazing thing, having the opportunity to do something different, a school of choice. I think it's really a great thing for Alisal students.
For more information, call us today. Alisal Virtual Academy.
Time now for a look at the latest news coming out of the sports world. Our sports director, Maxwell Glenn, joining us. And Maxwell, it seems like it's been a very busy day so far.
That's absolutely right. It has been a busy day in sports, especially in the Bay Area. We'll continue now in Major League Baseball. For the first time since 2019, former Giants manager Bruce Bochy will return to the league, but here's the twist. It will not be with San Francisco. The Rangers have been in the market for a manager since August. That's back when they fired Chris Woodward after 3 tough seasons. In their search, they arrived at Bruce Bochy, who will be making his 3rd managerial stop. At 67 years old, Bochy will take the reins of the Rangers organization. Previously, he led the Giants for 13 years, winning 3 championships, and before that, he managed the Padres for another 12 years. Bochy will make his return to Oracle Park next August when the Giants host the Rangers from the 11th through the 13th. And turning now to the NFL, Christian McCaffrey touched down in Santa Clara this morning. The newest 49ers running back making the announcement on social media. It's a touchdown the team hopes is the first of many.
What's up, Niner faithful? Christian McCaffrey here, just touched down. Man, I can't tell you how excited I am, fired up. I can't wait to get to work.
And get to work he did. Check it out. McCaffrey already out of practice with his new team after being traded from the Panthers to the Niners last night. Today he was seen donning the number 23 at Levi Stadium, the number he's expected to wear moving forward. As for the trade itself, in exchange for the star running back, the Niners are sending future 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round picks. And looking ahead to tonight, the Warriors are back in action for Game 2 of the regular season, and tonight they're facing Denver at home. Heading into the matchup, Golden State is 1-0, coming off that 123-109 win over the Lakers on ring night. On the other side of the court, Denver is 0-1, still looking for that first win. They ended up losing to Utah 123-102 despite 27 points from the Joker. We'll see how tonight's matchup plays out as tip-off at the Chase Center, set for 7 p.m. We'll, of course, have the results later on tonight.
All right, thanks so much for that, Maxwell. Caught on camera, however, a robbery ended with some raining money. Straight ahead, just how much the robbers tried to get away with and how police were able to capture them.
Get the app, get the alert, know the current weather conditions with the KION Weather Authority app.
Luke's been arrested. Luke is busted. Now Phil is laying down the law.
I'm your worst nightmare.
You think maybe you're being a bit hard on Luke?
We're his parents, Claire. It's our job to keep him off the stripper pole.
Modern Family
On KION News Channel 46.
Some days your body is a temple, and some days the temple wants sugar. You might relieve stress naturally on Monday and plan for it on Tuesday. Because being human isn't always so fries or salad. Sometimes it's both. So relax with essential oils or a glass of Cab. Fall asleep with melatonin and wake up to caffeine. With traditional medicine and alternative remedies, there's no wrong way to treat life at Rite Aid. And now, get your flu shot and updated COVID-19 booster with easy scheduling plus walk-ins available daily.
The great experiences you have in here and even out here all started here. Because the best customer experience always leaves a great impression. GMC, awarded #1 in sales satisfaction by J.D. Power. Sierra models are arriving weekly at your local GMC dealers, available for immediate delivery with 0% financing.
See Cardinale, Gold Star, or Watsonville GMC.
We created Aspire Health with one distinct mission in mind.
For nearly 9 years, our two healthcare systems have worked together to build the only local Medicare Advantage plan, Aspire Health.
Our team at Montage Health
is working in partnership with our team at Salinas Valley Memorial Healthcare System.
We invite you to take a few minutes today to speak with the Medicare experts at Aspire Health.
For your health.
And the health of our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
KION News Channel 46 is all about local coverage.
Well, in Watsonville, after a third crash involving a pedestrian this year,
coverage of breaking news.
A man was arrested in connection to a kidnapping.
Coverage of major news.
7 months since Russia began its brutal invasion.
Coverage of severe weather. This tropical storm Ian really newly formed.
KION News Channel 46.
Local stories that matter.
You can't replace wildlife once it's gone. Join our mission to protect their future. Join the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance.
In Chile today, a store robbery ended with a police car chase and money then started raining down on the highway. Take a look at that right there. Security camera footage shows the suspects throwing bags of money out the window, causing dozens of bills to cover the road. The money was picked up by police and the 6 suspects were arrested. Whew. I don't know what I would do if I saw that much money on the road. I'd probably, pick it up. But before we go, our producer Karina, it's her last day today. And Karina, from all of us here, we really appreciate your time here. You spent a wonderful 2 years with us and you did so much hard work. I remember when I started working with you that one time on the morning show. That was a good time.
Karina, you absolutely cannot leave. I mean, we want what's best for you and everything, but we're being selfish here. I think we're just going to kidnap you, keep you here.
I know. I want to keep Karina around. I love having her around, guys.
Her voice is in our ears right now, so she's in our booth talking. So you get her. She's in the photo.
She's right there in the middle where I'm sitting. That's where Karina is.
Yeah, just sitting down there, smiling. Karina's always smiling, first of all. So we're certainly going to miss you, Karina. We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
Definitely, definitely. And thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you at 10 and 11.
See you then.